Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper. Bartschland Follies at the McKittrick Hotel is an eclectic and eccentric cabaret extravaganza where a night at the opera collides with a burlesque circus. Today, I'm joined by the show's creator and the queen of New York City nightlife, Susanne Bartsch, pole dancer and opera aerialist, Marcy Richardson, and burlesque star, Lola von Rox. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. First,
can you dance on that mic? I'll try. Sorry.
I feel like after seeing you at work, you could dance on anything.
Correct.
Yeah, she's like, that is true.
Incredible.
First, can we just give it up for the beautiful wardrobe, the beautiful outfits today? Give yourself a little twirl. Yes, twirl.
Prompt.
Live in the moment, please, because this is the best part. I was really underdressed today, but next time I will come correct for you, ladies.
Fired.
Okay? Thank you so much. So I love this show. I haven't actually seen it, but I'm fully entrenched in the world on all of your amazing performances. And Susanne, you are such an iconic figure in New York City. I called you the queen of nightlife. You're very much known for throwing these very big, extravagant parties, very inclusive spaces. So how did that become Bartschland Follies? How did that kind of transition into this?
Well, basically, my nightlife, my events are all about accepting people for who they are. They should be who they want to be. Freedom of expression is all what I'm all about. So I always did shows in my events, little shows, like 1 or 2 shows, since whenever I started in the mid-80s. Oh, there she is. Hello. In the mid, I didn't know where the TV was. Sorry. In the mid-80s, it somehow I love live theater, and I think it's even more important than ever with this age of technology and cyber life. So having done little shows all along, I decided to put a night together which is about shows rather than dancing. It's about coming and seeing a show. Very relaxed, you can sit down, you can stand, you can walk around, but it's about show expression of the art of performance, which it kind of came out of what I've been doing all along.
Exactly, yeah.
It became like, instead of 1 or 2 shows, I now have like 12 shows. And it's performance art, it's art, you know?
And I know you guys are starting your 2nd season at the end of the month. So why do you think the show has been successful? Why do you think, people want to keep coming and seeing it?
I mean, I'm thinking it's to do because I look so fabulous. I think it's the same reason. People are coming there, they come with an attitude of fun and having a good time as opposed to, do I have to go to this? It's like a real welcoming place. And I think the variety of the acts, it's really crazy, incredible. You never know what's going to happen. The bottom line of the show is there's no plan. And I think people like that. Everything is so organized, 9 to 5, you have to do this, you're supposed to do that. This Follies show, the Bartschland Follies at the McKittrick, is just like anything goes. If you're lucky, you might end up in a show. It's just freedom. Again, it's freedom of being and enjoying yourself. And the love that the people bring to this Follies is just enormous. It's so rewarding. And it's such a privilege to do the show. And the people, I always say I'm nothing without you, because the show is running because people are coming, and I think it's partially to do with that love that's in the room. We have drag queens, we have gays, we have people from Texas, we have straights, we have Ocasio, the congresswoman, we have David LaChapelle comes every time he's in New York, not to drop names, but it's just like anybody.
It's okay,
there's no VIP. 0 VIP. You're all, are you coming next Friday?
I'm going to come.
Are you coming?
Swear. You guys can come with me.
Definitely get the pencil out. Anyway.
Seriously, I want to see your faces there. It'd be even more fun. So you mentioned the acts and how diverse they are. How did you go about selecting them, and what will we kind of see? Maybe a tease?
But for example, Marcy, I knew about Marcy. It can't get any better than doing a pole dancing, which is such an incredible gymnastic, acrobatic thing to do. And then on top of that, sing opera live without a microphone. When I heard about that, I said, this is the shit. And I was trying to get her for a long time, but she never responded to my emails.
That's not true.
I'm also
She's busy.
I had the wrong address. So I was so inspired by that, the idea of someone making peanut butter sandwich there between the private parts. I mean, it's just incredible what people are able to do, and it's being done without trying to sell sex or without trying to provoke. It's just a natural, I'm painting a painting and this is my painting. I'm on a pole doing, singing opera. Or Lola, who is just, I mean, this sounds really bad, but it's a compliment. Lola is so talented. Whenever we need something, all we know is, let's get Lola. She can fit in anywhere. She has great show. She's an incredible host. She's an amazing creative person. She's part of the show. She's even a set, like a tableau vivant with you, actually. So it's just, I mean, the people that I like is people that I don't like the norm. Maybe that's coming from my Swiss background. I like the unexpected. So if you have a burlesque act, I don't just want someone to take off their bras and, you know, do all the shake their boobs or whatever it is. Boobs, I guess. I want a twist with it. So even though the pole dancing, for example, is extraordinary and it's acrobatic, amazing, you're an athlete. Yeah. But the fact that you sing opera, to me, takes it just to the next level.
Let's talk about what you do, because it really is two things I've never seen put together. Two things done so well put together.
Thank you.
So how did you discover that you could do both together?
Well, I am an opera singer by trade, and I was sort of following a very traditional opera career path, but I was always getting feedback, you know, whether it was theater or opera, like, you know, maybe tone it down, soften it up, be a little bit more feminine. Like, you know, I was always pushed to fit in a little bit more. And I started pole dancing almost 10 years ago, actually, just as a hobby, something fun to do for myself. And I started doing pole competitions just as a personal goal. And I got truly excellent at pole dancing and acrobatics. And there's such an appetite for variety shows and burlesque here in New York. People started asking me, do you ever try doing the two things at the same time? And I, at first, was hesitant because I've seen other opera singers in the burlesque world that, I mean, they don't sing very well, some of them. And it's, to me, I didn't want it to look like I was doing this crazy thing, but not also singing truly beautifully. You know, I didn't want the singing to suffer. And so I just dipped my toe in little by little, and yeah, it's sort of become my MO on the NYC nightlife scene. I sing opera live unamplified on a pole or in the air, usually half naked, but it's not about the nudity. You know, you need.
Although your body's banging, so.
Oh, thank you. You know, when I go topless at the Follies on occasion, it's not a sexual thing. It's like I'm in this place where I can do whatever I want. I'm free to do as I please, and it's just for the fun of it. You know, it's just for the pure fun of it. I love performing so much, and you know, the Follies and everywhere else I work is like a family. And so I just have a great time.
And I'm sure the audience reaction probably fuels you as well, because it is such an unorthodox thing to see together. Does that help feed you when you're doing
Absolutely. I mean, so many people come who've never heard opera before, yeah, or who they have never heard live unamplified singing. And to see these people stand up and get excited, it's truly a gift, and it's amazing to have this audience and show
standing
family.
Ovations.
I always get a standing ovation, really? Usually. But yeah, you know, what I do also is very difficult and requires a lot of emotional and physical energy. So I don't have much of a social life outside of my performing and nightlife. So to be fed so much by the people I perform with and by the audience is really important to me. So there you go.
And Lola von Rox, you are a dancer and a burlesque performer.
Yeah.
You've danced your entire life, I've read, and on a ton of different platforms. So what is it about burlesque that you love so much? What is it about the expression that keeps you coming back to it?
I love celebrating my womanhood, you know, and also the human body. A lot of times we're taught that it's wrong to be nude or to show certain things. And in this show, as she said, anything goes. And I appreciate that. I applaud that. And I love that our audience appreciates and applauds it. You know, so it's celebrating our bodies and who I am and what I do.
And I'm interested too, especially because the power that is in burlesque, the sensuality. What is your like pre-show ritual? Because I would imagine there's a night where you just like aren't feeling it, but in getting like your wardrobe together, does that help you sort of feel that confidence?
Absolutely. This whole thing that you see is to create a power within myself. You know, I'm creating this energy that I want the audience to feel with me. You know, we're together. It's not just me on a stage. I'm doing this with the audience. I feed off of what they're giving me. Rose oil is my secret key, though, before every show.
Keep hearing about
bathing in
rose
rose
oil.
oil. Yeah.
Do you guys, are you on the rose oil train?
Angel.
Oh, what did you say?
I'm an angel.
So you mentioned there's a ton of different nightlife burlesque sort of themed shows in New York City, but what was it about the Bartschland Follies and specifically working with Susanne that drew you to this, each of you?
I mean, she's created such an amazing platform for an entire community, not just nightlife and not just for artists, but for queer artists. You know, she's giving us a place to be seen when a lot of people have told us no because we're interested in the opposite sex or both sexes. You know, so it's the power that she's given everyone and the platform, especially in the Bartschland Follies at the McKittrick. It's such a beautiful place, but she brings that.
Definitely the perfect marriage.
Yeah.
I could say the McKittrick and the Bartschland Follies, it's major.
What makes it so perfect?
I think it's, sorry I interrupted. Do you want to say that? What makes it so perfect? I like that it's an underground space. Shut up, Bartsch.
No, answer it, and then she'll do.
Your show,
Yeah.
bitch. Come on.
No, I would like your opinion. But it's an underground space, even though it's commercial. You don't feel like you're in a venue where they're trying to make money. You know, actually, it's amazing to work with the McKittrick people. Everyone wants money, but it's not about the money. They're willing to go all the way to make something. If they believe in something, they go all the way. And that to me is really, really important because I too want to pay my rent and make money, but it's never my motivation. Money is not a soul for me. And they're really professional. It's like I've been working in all these clubs all these years, and that nobody's snorting coke and get high, and not to say no charging, but they're professional. It's like it's off Broadway, and it's really cool.
Well, I've seen Sleep No More there, and then Gallo Green. I mean, every space has its own unique vibe.
Stunning.
And it's very retro,
sexy,
very sexy,
without trying to sell sex, and that's why I like that you want to take off your top. I take my top off to show you my 5-year-old boobs. The thing is that it's not about sex. It's comfortable, it's sexy, but it's not about selling sex. So it's a very special space.
Empowering, I think, really.
Yeah.
I also think what is fabulous about the Follies and what you're seeing on New York City nightlife is that everyone is bringing their most authentic self to the table. You know, everyone is an individual and everyone is free to embrace themselves as their truest self. And that is what I have found in nightlife. And I think people really grasp onto that. You know, if you go to a theater show and somebody in the cast calls out, they have an understudy who does the exact same thing. It's a canned show. You know, you come to the Follies. If Lola isn't there, I'm not there. You don't say, oh, you know, who can we get that does what Marcy does? You get, you know, a magician or a naked clown or you know, someone else who's going to bring their own most authentic self to the table. And I think it's really beautiful, and the audience grasps onto that authenticity.
What I love most about this show is that it is really a safe space for the performers, but also for the audience. I feel like it's a very inclusive space. Was this something that's been kind of like what you do? But I think specifically now in today's culture, you know, we have all these shows like Pose and that are showing these underground worlds. But what does it mean for you that those worlds that were more underground, that you've always been a part of, are now sort of like hitting the mainstream? Does that change the experience at all, or does it make it more fun?
I think it's good that things, you know, by the way, there is no more underground. This day and age, 1 second, and they have it all over the world. The underground is gone. I think it's great that things are having exposures, different cultures. I mean, when I started here, the drag scene was like, the devil, you know, it's like you get the clap when you look at a drag queen. It was really bad. And it's incredible. I took the drag out of the gutter, put it into The View, and then RuPaul took it and made it like in an insane movement. It's incredible, and I love that it's happening for the houseball community as well. I think it's cool, and it doesn't affect what I do. I keep doing things that will be the next big thing. Watch out.
I believe it.
I'm on my way.
Lola, you looked like you wanted to jump in when I asked that question.
No, I just think about when I grew up, I was always a weirdo. I was always dressing, well, not weirdo. I like being a weirdo. Some people think that's wrong, but.
You're a really creative babe, honey.
Thank you. I was always dressing up. I would dress up my parents when I was younger, my little brother. I was always like this. So having grown up in a world where I was taught, you know, dance is very structured and strict, and this is how you need to look. To have seen these people walking down the street when my father would take me to the village at night, I was amazed by it, and I was inspired growing up by seeing that. And the fact that I can do that now for other people is what makes this great, you know. And shows like Pose also give the next generation empowerment to do it as well.
I'm interested just personally for your style. What inspires you? Do you guys have muses, or is it just sort of like a creative process with your team? Like, how do you kind of choose who you're going to put on that stage every night?
I mean, I never know. It kind of sometimes starts with the wig, sometimes with the shoe, sometimes an outfit, sometimes just a lot of time the makeup. I work with this guy, Danny, who is amazing. And the makeup is, sometimes we're so close that sometimes I don't even think what I'm going to wear. I'm just going to see what he does. We talk, we do, and then I choose the outfit like 5 minutes. That's why I'm late at the Follies. No, it's really different. I don't have a muse. I just a feeling. I want to feel this way. I want to be pink. Today I felt pink, and here it is. It wasn't planned.
What does pink feel like?
It feels great. I feel luscious. Eat me. Cotton candy.
How about you, Marcy?
When I'm not at the Follies, I work pretty much full time with Company 14, Company XIV in Bushwick. And I've been tasked with creating a lot of pieces to fit their shows in a dramatic context. So I'm really inspired by the work there and what they ask of me. So, you know, quite honestly, a ton of my process happens with that company. And the piece I perform at the Follies, I built for Company XIV as well. So I would say I pull a lot of inspiration, you know, from the dramatic context there and the costuming. I'm very much ensconced in that world, and I love the glamour and the over-the-top, rich lusciousness of it all. So I get a lot of inspiration from there.
I can see Exhibit A. And how about you, Lola von Rox?
I love fashion. I've always loved fashion, but I like taking old Hollywood glamour and mixing it with pieces from the 80s or, you know, a crazy wig or a headpiece. So, and I'm inspired by the people around me. I might walk down the street and see someone playing with a Lego and make a whole look out of Legos. So,
really, have you done that?
I have done that, yes.
That didn't hurt? It wasn't pokey?
A little pokey, but, you know,
we saw
worth it.
Beauty is pain. Beauty is pain. We do have
Pain is pleasure.
There you go. We have a couple of questions before we get out of here from the audience. Who's got the first one right there?
Hello, I'm Megan. I'm a burlesque artist as well, and I'm inspired by all of you. But my question is, what do you find most empowering about this version of your art?
I think each of you can answer if you...
I think within the last year and a half, I've really honed in more on myself because I've been allowed to be my true self through Susanne Bartsch and this show. So I think that's what's definitely helped me get to this point, is just really going for it and not being afraid and just being who you are with no limits, no boundaries.
I agree. Yeah, as someone who's been told, you know, my whole life and been given this feedback as an artist, you know, tone it down, blend in a little bit more, you know, try to be a little more normal. It's so refreshing that I get to do this for a living and I just get to be me. You know, I can be strong, I can be, you know, I can have a masculine side, I can have a glamorous side, and no one is telling me, you know, that's wrong, like you should do this instead. I get to be the most authentic version of myself, and everyone I work with celebrates it and wants to empower it instead of you know, wanting to change it. And that I love that.
Yeah. And for me, it's bringing people together. It's really like, I love that people come, I see the joy on their face most of the time. Are you happy? I love bringing people together. I think it's really important. I was saying earlier, with the age of technology, social media, we don't have contact anymore. And I think it's amazing to see a group of people in a room together, not knowing each other, flirting, saying hello, smiling at each other without knowing who you are. Just uniting people, really, and to give a platform for people, artists, audience, whoever you are, to express themselves. That's really what is in it for me. Yeah.
And one more?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Love your hair, by the way. Fantastic. How has the nightlife performance scene changed throughout the years?
How has the nightlife performance space changed over the years?
I mean, it's kind of the same, really. People always ask that question, no offense, but it is harder. There's less need to go out. You can do everything on that square. You don't have to go out anymore. So it's harder. People are overwhelmed with all the millions of notices. Come here, go there, you can do that. So it's a little bit like harder, but at the same time it works because the ones who do come out really want to be out and they really want to be there and connect. So it's the same, though, you know. I don't really, as far as being there, that bloody phone everywhere. One last thing I have to say is dancing is still the shit. That's the one time when they put down their phone, they unite in a beat, and it's a beautiful spiritual experience. To me, it's almost like meditating. You just together, everyone moves their own way to that music, and there's no phones. And that's very special. So in that way, that's a big deal.
You are like the best saleswoman ever.
Oh,
by the
let's
way.
dance.
Yes. I'm like, do we have some music? Can we dance our way out? I'm just saying.
We can dance at the McKittrick, but at the Follies, you can dance. It's really cool. We have a break there, and everyone dances, and it's just so cool because the McKittrick is very open, and we have no nudity issues, so we can't show our boobs. We show penises. Oops, is that allowed to say?
You can say penises.
They'll be... No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So
I was like, sure, I'll still be there.
And the McKittrick is cool. They have no hang-ups. They're confident in who they are and what they are, and they allow you to be you. And that's why we are a good marriage with the McKittrick and the Bartsch.
I love that. I love the mission behind it. I love the inclusive space. I think people more and more are trying to find their more authentic selves. I think people are more open to going on that journey. And I definitely think seeing people who are so proud in their authenticity is so important.
And trying different things, you know. You
and trying
don't have to
different
be that. Just, you know, he's wearing a plaid shirt, so we all have to wear plaid shirts, two of them. So it's like experiment, you know.
Get out of the box. And so I can't come this Friday, but I'll be there next Friday. I promise. I cannot wait to see the show. I will love it. And guys, Bartschland Follies runs every Friday night at the Club Car at the McKittrick Hotel. Please put your hands together for Susanne Bartsch, Marcy Richardson, and Lola von Rox.
Put your hands together for this audience. Thank you.